by giving our third grade students a round of applause. Don't they look wonderful? Just a couple of things that I would like to say before we get officially started is number one, many of you remember this play. Raise your hand if you participated in this play. Thank you for raising a quiet hand. So a lot of these songs are going to be familiar, but just a reminder that this is the opportunity for our third grade friends to share this story about the Native Americans with us. The other thing that I wanted to take the time to talk to you about is this is one of my favorite performances. And I think the reason it is because of the meaning. Yesterday, I don't know if you remember how windy it was, right? Yeah. There were trees, leaves, everything blowing. And I thought, oh my goodness, what will this mean for tomorrow? Invariably, every year, it is the most beautiful day when we do this Native Ways celebration. And there's usually a little bit of wind that comes in very gently as the third grade friends begin to tell the story of the time and space that many Native Americans spent here. So it's pretty special. But there was one more thing, and you know Mrs. Theo, she loves quotes. So this is a Native American quote that says, "Give me knowledge so I may have kindness for all." I don't know, I'm sure all of you have seen the beautiful quad area that is on the backside of the orange grove and in front of our kindergarten building. Isn't it beautiful? The grass is so vibrant. The colors, don't tell Mr. Miller, but the colors are even better than the artificial turf down below. So what I would say is, what part are we going to play in preserving that? And while it might be a nice shortcut, walking from the chuck wagon to our classrooms, whether that be to the fourth grade classroom or whether it be to the technology lab or library, and whether we think that we should go ahead and pull our backpacks across that lawn, what I'm going to remind you is that grass is living. It's a living thing that our third grade friends are going to remind us about. So let's all be responsible and kind to our grass so that we make sure that it has many, many years to bring us great visual happiness, okay? And with that said, I want to introduce our third grade team. Break a leg. It's going to be a wonderful performance of Native Ways.
When you stand, I can see that.
Come with us to a time long, long ago, before the white man walked this land, when man, nature, and animals were one. Land is shared and all life respected. Man took only what he needed and never picked the largest plant, leaf, berry, or flower found amid those he was gathering. For this was the grandmother and should be left out of respect.
In telling of legends, many things can be taught or learned. This is one of the ways that many tribes kept their cultures alive.
It was not just a collection of stories, but of their beliefs, their ways, and their lives. Many legends are still told, some old, some new, but are all part of the culture of the indigenous people of North America have had and still have. Music and dance have always played a central part in Native celebrations. This piece, entitled Song of Happiness, is often sung during feasts and other joyous occasions, such as our third grade play.
Many years ago, all things came to be: the stars, rocks, plants, rivers, animals, mountains, sun, moon, birds. All things and the people were born. Some say from the ocean, some say from a hollow rock, some say from an opening in the ground, some say from the mountains.
And the people came to live in the northern mountains and on the plains, in the western hills and on the seacoast, in the southern deserts and in the canyons, in the eastern woodlands and on the piedmonts. Some people fish, others were hunters. Some people farmed, others were artisans. Their leaders were those who served the people. Their heroes were those who cared for the people.
Their hunters were those who provided for the people. The warriors were those who protected the people. The teachers and the elders of the people all taught this important knowledge.
The earth is the source of all life. She gives birth. Her children continue the life of the earth. People must be responsible to her. This is the way that all life continues.
But life was always hard. At times corn did not grow and there was famine. At times winters were very cold and there was hardship. At times winds blew hot and rivers dried. They had great patience and never took anything for granted.
Celebrations kept the people joyful.
God says in lesson that God's made man. The Native American world was filled with spirits who possessed power and inhabited places, people, animals, and even objects.
Spirituality was an important part of the lives of all Native American people. They believed in the presence and all spiritual forces in all things.
Some tribes believed all power came from the Great Spirit. From everyday activities to special rituals, the behavior and beliefs of Native American children managed to respect for the Great Spirit and the world around them.
The mystery of man's creation is addressed by many Native American storytellers. This story reflects on the rugged of the Southwest and the importance of cultivation of corn played in the lives of people. God made man of turquoise and white shell, striped corn, blue corn, red corn, and black. Made his feet from the earth, his legs and his tongue from the lightning, his voice from the thunder, made him with pollen, rainwater, lake water, and mountain spring water.
His hair from black snakes, his face from the dark sky, and the name he created from everything.
They made him sing over him through the night, so that breath lifted his body, so that he moved, so that his feet danced with the wind. The gods sang songs, and men had life, that gave him songs, and he had power.
Who told you that story?
An elder in our tribe.
Are you Indians? We are of Native American heritage. Our parents are from the Navajo tribe. In fact, our grandparents call me Great Fire, which means you can travel through a village as quiet as smoke.
And Dad was called Little Basket. My grandfather and I would run through the trails together.
Then you both must live in a hogan and read baskets. No, we live in a house down the street. The traditions of our culture may be different, but we are alike in most other ways.
The Navajos still raise sheep, but they use modern methods to care for them. Skilled craft workers still weave beautiful baskets and make topaz jewelry. However, the Navajo also drive SUVs equipped with iPhones.
One of the most beautiful gifts of our culture is that it is kept alive by storytellers and elders so we won't forget who we are. My favorite legend is called Rainbow Crow, and I would like to share it with you so you too can hear the wondrous ways in which nature brought us many gifts.
Before the two-legged walked the earth, the weather was always warm and the animals were always happy. But one day something happened to cause the earth to grow cold. Tiny crystals, glittering like diamonds, drifted down from the sky, covering earth with a sparkling softness. Seeing snow for the first time, the animals were not afraid.
Look how beautiful our earth looks under this blanket of snow.
It may be fine for you, but it's getting a little deep for me. I'm with you, Mouse. It is soft and beautiful, but if it doesn't stop soon, I'm afraid we could all be in trouble.
The snow continued to deepen. Then Mouse disappeared. The tip of her tail was all the animals could see. They began to worry. Then Rabbit disappeared. The tips of her ears were all the animals could see. They worried more. At last, they gathered in a clearing deep inside the forest to talk about the weather.
We need a messenger to travel at once to the great sky spirit and ask him to stop the snow.
But who would be willing to leave Earth to visit the distant place where the great sky spirit dwells?
Owl is the wisest. Perhaps he should go.
But no! He might get lost in the light of day, so Owl should not go.
Perhaps Raccoon should go.
But no! He might fall his tail instead of his nose, so Raccoon should not go.
Perhaps Coyote should go.
But no, Coyote is clever and loves to play tricks. He might chase the clouds or swallow the wind. So Coyote should not go.
The noisy animals screeched and howled because they cannot decide who should visit the great sky spirit to ask him to stop the snow. The snow grew deeper and deeper and deeper, and the small animals climbed on top of the tall animals so they would not disappear.
Suddenly, down from the top of the tallest tree flew Rainbow Crow, the most beautiful bird on earth, who called out to all the animals below in the sweetest voice of all birds.
I will go. I will stop the snow.
And the animals, happy at last to have crows as messenger, chanted a song of praise.
Far above the snow and winds of the earth, way beyond the moon, stars, and clouds. For 3 days Crow flew, until he came upon the great sky spirit, who was too busy to notice. So Rainbow Crow began to sing.
The great spirit stopped to listen. Never before had he heard such a sweet voice sing such a beautiful song.
He took her to choose a gift.
Now Crow knew that far below on Earth the snow was getting deep, that soon all the animals would disappear. So he asked the Great Spirit to stop the snow.
No, Crow, I cannot stop the snow, for snow has a spirit of its own. When Snow Spirit leaves the clouds to visit with his friend Wind Spirit, the snow will stop, but the earth will still be cold.
So then, please, Great Spirit, can you stop the cold?
No, Crow, I cannot stop the cold. All I can do is give you the gift of fire. Fire will keep you warm and will melt the snow so that your friends will be kept content until warm weather returns.
Great Spirit picked up a stick, put a bit of fire on the end of it, and handed it to Crow.
I will give you this gift but once. Hurry! Fly back to Earth before the fire disappears.
Off flew Crow.
High in the sky I go, walking in the sky I go, high above the way below. Way below, by my side a bird will go, bird and I above the way below. Way below. High in the sky I go, walking in the sky I go, high above the way below. Way below, by my side a bird will go, bird and I above the way below. Way below. High in the sky I go, walking in the sky I go, high above the way below. Way below, by my side a bird will go, bird and I above the way below. Way below. High in the sky I go, walking in the sky I go, high above the way below. Way below, by my side a bird will go, bird and I above the way below. Way below. On the first day, as Crow flew down, showering sparks of fire darkened his tail feathers. On the second day, as Crow flew down, the fire burned brighter and the stick grew shorter, and all of Crow's feathers were covered with soot.
On the third day, as Crow flew down, the fire was so hot and the stick was so short that smoke and ash blew into Crow's mouth and his voice became cracked and hoarse.
So Crow flew down close to the pale, pale ground. Around and around into the fire melted the snow, and friends were safe.
And this tiny stick of fire became the grandfather of all fires, and for this all the animals on earth thanked Crow. They danced and chanted a song of praise.
At last, Crow, all alone, flew to a distant tree where he wept. He was no longer beautiful. He could no longer sing a sweet song. His rainbow feathers were gone forever.
The Snow Spirit emptied the cloud and joined the Wind Spirit. The snow stopped, but Crow still went. The great Sky Spirits heard him and came down from the sky.
Crow, soon the two-legged will appear on Earth. He will take fire and be master of all but you. for being so brave and unselfish. I give you the gift of freedom.
The two-legged will never hunt you, for your meat tastes like fire and smoke. The two-legged will never capture you for your song, for your beautiful voice is now crackly and hoarse.
And the two-legged would never want your feathers, because your rainbow colors are now black, but they will shine and reflect all the colors of the earth. If you look closely, you will see.
Crow looked and saw hundreds of tiny rainbows shining on his black feathers. Crow was content. The Great Spirit returned to his distant home in the sky. Crow happily returned to his fields, proud. He was now Black Crow, with shining feathers full of tiny rainbows.
As our nation grew, the Native Americans struggled to maintain their culture. All this time, parents told their children, "You are Shawnee, you are Lakota, you are Pima, you are Acoma, you are Tlingit, you are Mohawk, you are all the nation's people."
Holy Heather, this is the life of our people. These are the stories and these are the songs. This is our heritage, and the children listen.
Traces of it are lost in the prairie dust, and ancient people were part of the land that we love and call America.
Living here for thousands of years, their children became great Indian civilizations of the Choctaw, Cherokee, Navajo, Iroquois, and Sioux, among many others.
Then the white settlers from Europe began a war against the Indians, and in the span of a single lifetime claimed all the Indians' land for themselves, allowing them only small tracts of land on which to live. When the last of the Indian wars were drawing to a close, one of the bravest and most respected chiefs of the Western nations, Chief Seattle, sat down at a white man's table to sign a paper presented by a new commissioner of Indian affairs to the territory. The government in Washington, D.C. wished to buy the lands of Chief Seattle's people.
With the commanding presence and eyes that mirrored the great soul that lived within, the chief rose to speak to the gatherings in a resounding voice. "How can you buy the sky?" Chief Seattle began. "How can you own the rain and the wind?"
My mother told me every part of this earth is sacred to our people. Every pine needle, every sandy shore, every mist of the dark woods, every meadow and humming insect, all are holy in the memory of our people. My father said to me, "I know the sap that courses through the trees as I know the blood that flows through my veins." We are part of the earth, and it's part of us. The perfumed flowers are our sisters. The bear, the deer, the great eagle, these are all our great brothers. The rocky crest, the meadows, the ponies all belong to the same family.
The voice of my ancestors said to me, the shining water that moves in the streams and rivers is not simply water, but the blood of your grandfather's grandfather.
Each goes through affection in the clear waters of the lakes, tells of memory of our people. The water's murmur is the voice of your great-great-grandmother. The rivers are our brothers. They quench our thirst. They carry our canoes and feed our children. You must give the rivers the kindness you'd give to any brother.
The voice of my grandfather said to me, the air is precious. It shares its spirit with all the life it supports. The wind that gave me my first breath also receives my last sigh. You must keep the land and air apart and sacred as a place where one can go to taste the wind that is faded by the meadow flowers.
When the last red man and woman had vanished with their wilderness, and their memory was a shadow of a cloud moving across the prairie, will the shores and forests still be here? Will there be any spirit of my people left? My ancestors said to me, this we know. The earth does not belong to us. We belong to the earth.
The voice of my grandmother said to me, teach our children what you have been taught. The earth is our mother. What befalls the earth befalls all the sons and daughters of the earth.
Hear my voice and the voice of my ancestors, Chief Seattle said. This destiny of your people is a mystery to us. What will happen when the buffalo are all slaughtered, the wild horses tamed? What will happen when the secret corners of the forest are heavy with the scent of many men? When the view of the ripe hills is blotted by talking wires, where will the thicket be? Gone. Where will the eagle be? Gone. And what will happen when we say goodbye to the swift pony and the hunt? It'll be the end of living and the beginning of survival.
This we know. All things are connected like the blood that unites us. We do not weave the web of life. We are nearly a strand in it. Whatever we do the web, we do ourselves.
We love this earth as a newborn makes its mother's heartbeat. If we sell our own land, care for it as we have cared for it. Hold in your mind the memory of the land as it is when you have received it. Preserve the air and the land and the rivers for your children's children, and love it as we have loved it.
In the telling of some of these stories, we have passed on things that were told from grandmother to grandfather, granddaughter to grandson from the generation.
These stories are near to sacred for many groups of people. We honor each of you who have listened carefully to these stories. We hope you have learned some of the history and have a clear understanding of Native Americans. We leave you with these words of wisdom.
Seasons go and seasons come, steady as a beating drum. Plunge
hand for none of you guys. That is phenomenal. Good job. Good job. Your outfits look amazing too, by the way. I was listening to my heart, and my car lease is actually coming up, and I was thinking about trading it in and getting a canoe and using this Chatsworth wash right here to go to and from work. So thank you for impacting me in that way. But I do want to commend all of you guys, students. You guys all have done a fantastic job listening and being really respectful. And I will say that even though we haven't had an assembly, it feels like in about 6 months, you did a wonderful job today. So give yourselves a hand for being great listeners. Thank you. There's obviously a lot of people we need to recognize, but first and foremost, I want to first recognize our parents. Are there any parents here who helped set up and decorate this amphitheater? Can we give them a huge round of applause, parents? Thank you so much. Obviously, our amazing third grade team. Third grade team, if you guys could stand up, and let's recognize our third grade team for doing such a wonderful job. The man, the myth, the legend, Oscar, thank you very much. Hand for Oscar. And how about a big hand for our music director, Mrs. Rosen. And third grade, I think it's, are you guys ready? Do you guys know what's coming next? Are you sure? Are you ready for sure? All right. Let's give them a really, really loud, spirited Native American Herzog. I'm not sure what makes a Native American, but just dig deep, all right? Yay, third grade, on the count of 3, ready? 1, 2, 3. That was a nice touch. That was a fantastic touch. All right, you guys, well, that concludes our third grade assembly. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and dismiss our youngest learners. Kindergarten, you guys can stand up.